It's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
And welcome to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Milton Glueck along with Dr. Calvin Finch. Trace will be joining us in a little while, and we're without Mark today, but hopefully he's doing okay. So, all right, 210-308.
Well, he may come.
Yeah, he may come. So 210-308-8867 is our number, 210-308-8867. So anything, I got some questions for you, but anything come to mind that you want to make sure our listeners know about?
Well, of course, the big issue is the cold weather.
Yeah.
And a lot of, I think it pays now with this forecast to be pretty conservative.
Yeah.
And include... And I have to go back through now and put some heat sources on my citrus. I think if it's going to make it through. The one good thing is that the periods of freezes are generally not more than 5 or 6 hours.
Yes, no.
So that gives us, but when you have them 6 or 7 days in a row. You lose some of the impact because you don't want to uncover them every day, and but you just have to do make an assessment of what the weather is coming, and then and what you think you need to protect your plants, and then go ahead and put that in there, and then wish for the best, and then of course anybody that's listening can call us and we'll give them. Our advice, and based on our experiences, which have been pretty diverse.
And you can see whether I've learned this correctly or not. Got down to about 30, I guess, or low 30s. But even if you didn't cover some stuff, it might still be okay, but you might still want to come over here and get some stuff to cover your...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that insulate.
We actually didn't cover anything that we left outside last night. We're covering it today.
Yeah.
So I think we're looking at about 14 hours below freezing tonight, and 20
really?
something. It was either tonight or tomorrow night.
Wow.
And then 20 hours or so on the next go-round.
Okay.
Now, that insulate is pretty substantial. I always recommend that all you need on your cyclamen is one layer, especially if it's the insulate. And if it's typically in a sheltered location, which it is usually when you plant cyclamen in the shade and out of the wind. Now, if it's in the wind, that's another thing. That's one of the most substantial things, especially when we got a situation where we've got freezing, thawing, wind changes, and pulls that material out. But the insulate is heavy enough that
will the insulate protect from the wind too?
If you put enough weight on it,
okay,
and you've got enough overlap. And Trace, here at Milberger's, you can buy that very large. What is it? 10 feet wide.
It's a 10 by 12 as far as the pre-cut, but we do have 250-foot rolls of 12 foot wide where you can buy it by the running foot.
Yeah, and that works really well for the cyclamen and for primula or primrose, whatever you call it, and so that's pretty substantial. But I'm thinking, Trace, that for citrus, especially if it's lemons and limes that have been in containers, that heat source might be needed.
Heat source, but if they're in a container, the right answer is pick it up and move it in.
Yeah, if you can pick it up and move it. Yeah.
My wife picked up a 30-inch clay pot last night with a macho fern in it.
I need her to come over my house and help me
It took
with
up half my living room.
And I think though the half whiskey barrels are beautiful and everything, but they are not as practical in terms of moving as those
You're going to get
plastic.
You're gonna get 4 or 5 years out of it, and then have to do something.
Yeah.
But don't you kind of have a makeshift solution for that with little wheels on the bottom of the?
Well, not after 5 years on those because the
wood eventually rots, Milton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of gardeners that had them that are 4 years, and they got when they had to move them, and the pieces just fell apart. So that means then you have to cover them in place, and a good heat source or mechanics lights. They're easy. You can do a tough extension cord, and you just connect them to your various citrus. The other thing are those poultry lights, and of course the poultry lights usually they don't usually have LED technology, but the mechanics lights you can get. You want to make sure that you've got the old-fashioned heat-producing light bulbs in there if you're using those for a heat source.
It's amazing how such a small thing can make a difference between life and death.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That. It may only make a difference of 2 or 3 degrees, that mechanics light, but when you're talking about 30 degrees versus 32 or
it's huge.
28.
The outcome is much better with the light or any heat source.
And especially works well in this fluctuating. Now, it surprises me that some of the forecasts say that we're going to have as much as 20 hours in a row.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. I was thinking it was mostly 5 hours or 6 hours.
No, that's kind of significant, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Very significant. Because one of the things we rely on are the heat reserves in the soil.
Oh.
Yeah, but 20 hours and wind. You kind of lose that impact in a lot of situations.
So do we want snow as an insulator?
I think it would be great.
Okay.
But we're not talking about Minnesota snow. We're talking about
It's still an insulating layer. So
Yeah.
if they actually have the cloth on there, that gets on. Even the bottom side melts a little bit and then refreezes. It still takes a lot more calories lost to go below 32 on the other side of the blanket.
And I know you make this point quite a bit, Trace, on you need the overlap. That's why it's good to have that generous sizes of that insulate. You need the overlap, and then you need the weight, and especially on that north side. I noticed that this morning the west wind, a lot of the wind came from the west for a while. But
Yeah, actually, I was watching the flags. The wind was blowing this way. So
east?
yeah, coming from the east. But that doesn't make sense, though.
Yeah.
No.
No, over in my neighborhood, it looked like it was.
Was it
the
west?
flags was the west
Okay.
wind. But I was expecting it from the north, too. But you need a lot of weight. Bricks work well. Firewood's not too bad. Because it's got some more size to it, and it's got plenty of weight.
We've used 2x4s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't use it this time, but the frame for the citrus trees, it's weighted down with 2x4s on the front, so it's like a lean-to. But out in the yard, we use, if it's not going to be really cold, we use the like Yopon holly and stuff like that to weight it down. But now the Yopon's covered.
Okay.
So we're using the sign holders.
You're getting really conservative, huh?
I've seen it bad, and I don't want
Yeah.
to have that issue.
So
Now, in nature, I mean, in our landscapes, I wouldn't expect to be a problem with Yopon or the hollies. I guess there's enough other things that we'll have to cover that you wouldn't worry as much about them. they can put up with this kind of cold weather. But the citrus, definitely, the lemons and limes, absolutely have to be covered if you're going to protect them.
Yep. Do you think there's a plant that people think too highly of in terms of covering? Oh, I don't need to cover the blank. Maybe citrus. It'll be fine. But
Not.
I don't know if there was, like you mentioned, some of the things that the Yopon holly. You're covering them tonight, but that's also because you sell them, right?
Right. I need them to look good.
Yeah.
The second I take the cover off.
Okay.
And then it makes a difference too, though, how long it's been planted. If it's for the first year of a planting, and it's in an unsheltered situation, I think people are a little more conservative in trying to protect them. But after a few years of established plant, you can't. It's not practical to cover your whole half acre of your yard.
Yeah.
You know what is finally showing some damage, and I haven't bothered to try to protect it, is the penta. Penta really fared well up until.
No, mine are all brown out front.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine
the experimental
vary on
ones?
where
Yeah.
their location is.
The flower bed in the front. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did really good up until 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whenever that first little one was.
They were great, and they were so versatile too in terms of the shade. If you got it, they could put up with that blast of afternoon sun if it's just 2 or 3 hours, and they look great, lots of colors, and they made it right up to. It's almost what's the middle of January now. That's amazing that they've made it. Our porterweed. That's done for.
And my pansies are coming back. They're blooming. I noticed when I got back, they're blooming again.
Yeah, I don't expect pansies.
No,
I think they'll even, unless it's really a windy place, they generally would keep blooming right through this.
But they do tend to get a funny color on their foliage.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, like a dark edge.
Yeah, they get set back a little bit, and then after the temperature goes up in a few days, they quite often recover. Our snapdragons and our
the sweet peas, is that what is it?
Yeah, the sweet peas are going to have a little trouble.
Oh, okay.
And so stocks and calendula. Calendula in my garden is generally fares pretty well. Snapdragons traditionally will lose their blooms now, but they'll be back blooming spectacular in a few weeks. So they're always, you don't want to, I think too many gardeners say, they don't look good anymore, and so they yank them when all they have to do is wait a few weeks, and they'll start blooming again. So it's kind of an interesting situation. Our the vincas that they're
little
pretty much done. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even have any this year.
And Milton.
I think Trace shakes his head that I named the plants, and
Milton gave us a long story on his begonias, his whoppers.
The whoppers, yeah.
And I've left mine. Mine's still. I've got a row of them.
Yeah, I want to hear how that goes.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're going
to be knocked out.
I think they'll lose the foliage. They're quite tall, and they are basically against a wall. So I suspect the roots won't be damaged.
Oh, okay. And you said that's okay. You can cut them down, and they'll come back.
They'll come back.
I wish I'd thought of that. Yeah, you remember the 30-inch clay pot that you were talking about, Trace? Yes, that's what the whoppers were in. And so this...
Why didn't you just pick it up and move it in?
It's like really heavy. The pot's heavy by itself.
I understand that.
But, okay, so here's what we did. Do you want to hear the story?
Sure.
Okay. So it was a good idea, poorly executed. The idea came from Laura. The execution came from me. And what she said was, why don't you dig them out and put them in a smaller container that's lighter, and then we'll bring them in the house. Okay? So I did not know how brittle begonias were. And so the first one I tried to pull up by the root, just right by the root ball, and it just kept breaking and snapping, and it's like, oh, no, no, no. Okay, so then I finally started digging around it and popped it up and got that into something. And then the second one was medium. The third one I was proud of. The third one, I got that spade and I dug all around it. I mean, it was beautiful. I had a little container that I found for a hanging basket, and it fit in there perfectly. I mean, I was a genius.
I'm waiting for the butt.
Yeah, the butt's coming. So, so I am now congratulating myself on how skilled a gardener I am that I can do this and put it in the container. It just took me 2 tries.
After 30 years on the radio show. Yeah.
And it's easily. And I get to the gate, and it goes bloop, and goes all the way over and just plummets to the ground and breaks into a gazillion pieces. And, so I did pick it up, and I did put it back in and put some more soil on it to keep it a tight fit, but we'll see. I was really disappointed.
How did your speaking of those stiff stems, the plant, the lay flowers, that
The plumeria.
yeah. How did you end up? Did you just put them in the greenhouse in their containers, or did you?
I
lay them out.
I never take them out of the pot. That's too much work. So.
Did they break? Because I've heard they're brittle.
Well, my wife's not listening, so the answer is yes. I broke a couple.
Oh, okay.
And I just stick them in the pot, and odds are they're gonna root.
Well, we've had a lot of gardeners. I'm sure there's still some that just lay them for the winter, lay them out,
and propagate them that way.
And just go back. But it always seemed to me that it took so long to get them back into bloom.
It takes a long time to get them rerouted.
Yeah.
And so there's not really need if you got room to put the pot. Now, again, she's not listening, so
don't call her. Please don't call her.
Yes, don't tell her that I broke a few.
Oh, we'll know who it was too.
I put them in the greenhouse before I put the plastic and the sidewall, or the front wall. That was the only way I could get them in.
I can't help it, but I read all these English murder mysteries, and it just reminds me that what she's going to do. She'll find these broken stems buried in the garden. Yeah, and this will be the evidence. What did he do?
He killed
How many are in here?
Yes. I'm waiting for the text that's going to come this evening going, somebody who was listening to the show called my wife and told her about the plumeria.
Yeah.
I'm never telling about these stories again. That's... Oh, and I'm hoping, by the way, on the whoppers, what I did was kind of where I want them. Next time, I took the stems and I just buried them. Kind of like the plumeria. It may or may not work. I don't know if it'll work or not. Calvin said more stick it in and let them root.
Well, the roots will quite often come back up.
Yeah.
But they will root. They don't.
Are they easy to root?
They don't
from
move
stem?
fast during this cold weather.
I've never done it.
Oh, okay.
Coleuses are simple. I've done that, but I've not done begonias.
Are coleus related to?
No.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't stick the stems in.
I'll tell you what
quite
happened.
often I keep the root base, and they quite often will come up.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
Those whoppers are an amazing plant.
Trace will sell them next year. I'll buy one.
Well, it sounds like I need at least 2,
3,
maybe 3.
Maybe 3. Yeah, depending on what happens to the one that jumped, that did not want to go in the backyard and jumped out of the pot.
Well, he tortures us, with the whopper begonias.
Yeah. Oh, they're coming in any day now.
Yeah, they might be here today.
Yeah, we don't know. If you see them, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there'll be a few.
I might buy 1.5. I don't know. We'll see.
But it's an amazing plant for the gardeners out there in the audience.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm really eager to see what happens with yours. Yeah. If it lasts through all this, that's amazing.
Last year, I can't remember exactly how many I had, but I'm sure I had 20, 24 maybe, and about 7 or 8 came back.
Oh, did they come back? Okay.
Yeah, and this year, I'm sure I'll have at least 7 or 8 that'll come back.
Okay. And I put my
famous last words. Huh?
my blue bonnets that I got here. I put those where the begonias were. So I put those in the little pots because I like them in containers. They're kind of cool in containers, but we'll see what happens. All right, 210-308-8867. We need to take a break, 210-308-8867. How can we help you today? You call us and tell us what's going on in your gardening world. 210-308-8867. Back in a moment with more of Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. Trace Hazlett, Dr. Calvin Finch. I'm Milton Glueck. This is 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. 210-308-8867. Hey, it's nice and bright and sunny. Your car is nice and warm. Is it pulling on your trays there?
Okay.
Okay, I'll move a smidge closer to you too. But while it's nice and sunny, head over to Pruski's and get some meats and stuff so you can stay at home and treat yourself to some comfort food like pot roast. Edmund was talking about that, or maybe you want some steaks, or you want some stew. I think Edmund was talking, and you were talking about oxtail stuff. I don't know what you do with oxtail. Well, Edmund has oxtail at Pruski's.
That surprised me. You mentioned that because that's a big deal of South African.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you made oxtail
stuff? If you go to a restaurant, relatively fancy restaurant in South Africa, they've always got some oxtail dishes.
Okay.
Very, very good. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Also, unbelievably great sausage, which would be great on a day like today or tomorrow or Tuesday when it's cold outside and you're inside and just kind of taking care of yourself. So today, got till 5 o'clock. Head on over there to Pruski's on Highway 87 and enjoy all the stuff they got there. It's between 410 and 1604 and 87, and the website is pruskismeatmarket.com, pruskismeatmarket.com. You'll have fun. All right, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. I had a question. I have a couple of questions. Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
All right.
If we were kind of hoping that if we waited a while, you'd forget it, but no, go ahead.
Okay. So I need a easy solution to this. So think about who you're talking to. Me.
Yeah.
And we want to do the neighbor cut his tree down, which now gives us a lot more sun in our backyard. So we were thinking of a raised bed garden. So I want to figure out a very easy DIY raised bed garden that I can do. Any thoughts and suggestions? And then I have another one that's going to put a damper on your suggestions.
Well, all my raised bed gardens are with railroad ties.
Okay,
and I
thought of that.
I have to admit that 20 years ago they were much easier to build than they are for me now.
Oh,
railroad ties are heavy, but they've got now. I think I would be inclined
just to get a kit
towards some of treated wood, the appropriate treated wood in the smaller pieces. And they're attractive too. And then the other thing is masonry kind of blocks.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah, they're
the cement blocks.
Yeah, they're relatively easy.
Fine. I would go along with the treated landscape timber.
Okay.
Because they're cheap.
Okay, you just
much cheaper than really any other wood, and you just offset your corners and stack up to the point you want, and then you only have a couple to have to actually cut.
Oh, okay. And do you pile them on top of each other,
yes,
or do you have to drill down there to?
Well, you actually can get by on one thick, especially if you got another 6 or 8 inches of soil.
Oh, below.
Mine are 3 high.
Yeah.
What's that?
Mine are 3 high.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But you know how to work with wood. Are you doing anything?
That was before I knew how to do anything.
Really? Wow.
Did you drill holes and put
rebar
in there?
No. No, they're all fairly freestanding into the ground. I mean, they're rectangles, so it's not that hard. And then I bought some fancy little screw heads to screw them to each other.
Okay, I'm actually kind of thinking about that because I do have the little dudes that you can, the brackets that you can kind of screw into stuff.
We're talking about.
No.
Were you talking about railroad ties?
Well, or just treated wood.
The landscape timbers.
Yeah.
They're only like $3 a board.
Really? How long are they?
8 feet
8 feet by
like 3.5 inches.
Okay, so
okay, that's not what I.
Okay.
They're not railroad
Now, do we
ties.
sell those, or is that
No.
Okay.
And they're not kept. If you go to a box store to get them, they're not kept with the regular lumber. They're kept in the nursery area.
Oh, in the gardens. Okay.
Yeah, that's much easier
well,
to cut and everything and connect.
Okay, so here's my secondary concern. Oh, first off, and then I get the soil and just fill it up. Oh, do I put anything on the bottom? So, but actually, I do. I don't want to. No rock.
All
No.
you're doing is making it smaller. So.
Oh.
If the roots can grow out to the ground, you water less.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Add anything there. And we did the research here in San Antonio 20 years ago on the railroad ties and treated wood and the absorption and threat to gardens. And the results were negative, and we published the articles and everything, so that we were real comfortable with that. And now they do a much better job on the treated wood too. It's even less potent than it was.
Okay. So I'm going to go 8 by 8 by 8 by 8. Okay. I could try that.
Now I do.
Yeah.
8 by 40.
Oh.
Railroad ties, and they're only 8 inches tall, and they're so heavy you don't really have to. You just get them in place, and connect them. And then you get a load of soil from New Earth or one of those, and put them in there. They work with raised beds.
I'm picturing Milton with a wheelbarrow and a shovel, and it's not pretty.
So here's my other question. Maybe I've mentioned that we have feral cats. If I have this
not more than 4,000 times.
I know. If we have this in the vicinity of feral cats,
They'll find it.
Yeah. Are they going to use it as a litter box?
If you get locate pecan shell mulch.
Okay.
And so after you've done everything, you fill the top up with pecan shell mulch, and no.
Okay.
They don't want to walk on it, much less squat on it.
Okay. Same with squirrels and stuff. Or are they going to like the pecan mulch?
They probably like it.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're not. They're expert. That isn't a problem.
Oh, okay.
It decomposes so quickly, and they don't generally drop it there.
This sounds like a good time to do it because.
Oh, there's
what? There's Mary.
Yeah.
What?
Who's out there? Is that Albert? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Was he going to come talk to us? You want me to go talk to him real quick? Okay, y'all talk for a second. I'll find out. What's that? I'll get him. All right.
He's the new president of the men's garden club, and
okay.
they're a little worried about the age of the membership.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Definitely, and so he's one of his goals for the garden club is to recruit some younger people, and it's pretty important for our community, I think, and for the gardeners because they have been so important through the years in for the environment and for the research we've talked about.
Sure, and they were one of the, if not the first, one of the first gardening clubs around.
Yes, that's right, and they call themselves the men's garden club, but the past president was a woman, and nearly half the membership is women too. It's kind of an interesting topic to explore.
Yeah.
Why they don't just make it the San Antonio Garden Club.
He's going to get his notes and stuff, and
then I'll give up my chair and go do my real job.
Okay. Oh, this isn't your real job?
No.
Making fun of me and my ferals?
That's just
just a bonus.
That's easy.
Is that a perk of the?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we'll take a break maybe a little early, not now, but a little early, and so we can have him set up, and we'll spend some time with him. Okay. No, I was going to say it seemed like now would be a good time if I was going to start the project to do it, because I don't think there's a lot that I would plant. I probably want to plant more for the summer than I would for now, although I could do broccoli, cauliflower, all that good stuff.
You could.
Yeah.
You could do potatoes. And
Where do I get a wheelbarrow?
well, wheelbarrow is always useful. They last
I
a
think
long
I have
time.
one.
Yeah.
I think we actually have a wheelbarrow somewhere.
You know, another thing you can do,
Do you have a shovel?
Yes, we have a shovel and a wheelbarrow.
kind of
And a
leave
broom. I have a broom too.
leave your
Rake.
leave a lane open. Don't shut it down. Well, I guess if it's not a huge, I was thinking you can just, and I was thinking mostly, I guess, for my tractor, I can just move right through and put the soil inside and then back out, and so you don't have to. You can dump over the edge, I guess.
So another thought, Milton, you can
Yes.
always add to these to make them taller, because the older you get, the harder it is to bend down.
And I have actually seen. I mean, y'all may sell these. Do you sell the real tall ones that are designed so that you just walk up to it and you're working from a standing position? I've seen
I've
them.
got some small double-walled plastic ones like that, but more for starting plants. Than
Oh,
anything.
okay. But yeah, that's a good idea. I know that, and that topic comes up quite a bit actually, is gardening as you get older, and you can still enjoy it. You just have to take.
These two guys standing here look like they might be old gardeners.
I don't know. We're going to talk to them in a second. Okay. Well, let's do this. So Al, we're going to take a break right now. 210-308-8867, and then we'll come back and we'll talk to the folks about the Men's Garden Club right after this on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Milton Glueck along with Dr. Calvin Finch. And if you've been listening the past couple weeks, we've been talking about different opportunities in 2025. And Mark was nice enough to set up an interview with Men's Garden Club President Albert Del Rio. And Albert, introduce everybody that you got here, and we'll talk a little bit about the Men's Garden Club as an opportunity for gardeners of all ages. Oh, okay. This is my cheat sheet? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, past president. Okay, I didn't know if there's a title. Charles Bartlett is here also, and Charles is past president of the Men's Garden Club as well. So where do we start? Do you want to start a little bit with the history?
And master gardeners.
Oh, and master gardeners, yes.
And Master Naturalist.
Well, as you can see there in front of you, the
Yeah.
Men's Garden Club is...
Now get a little closer to the mic if you don't mind.
the Men's Garden
There
Club
you go.
began in March of 1969.
Yeah.
And historical steps were taken by the city to start a botanical center.
Hmm.
The Men's Garden Club embraced a project that became the botanical center's main and strongest supporter. Men's Garden Club also began and grew in parallel with the botanical movement in San Antonio. They flourished its humble beginnings and evolved as a key player of the garden community of San Antonio. It progressed in size and stature as men and women independent garden club while retaining its legacy, name, and nonprofit status. Many of the present-day splinter garden clubs and the Bexar County Master Gardening Program owe their origin to the Men's Garden Club and share its love and devotion to the gardening.
Yeah.
And it's got a wonderful history, of course. Been involved in almost every environmental topic and educational program. And so, what's your mission today?
Well, my mission here is to go ahead and put the word out about the Men's Garden Club and to recruit new members and also to I guess just to inform everybody about what the Men's Garden Club is. And so
is it a boys' club?
No,
I know.
it's a little bit of both,
Yeah.
men and women.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
in
about
fact, the
50
past president was a woman.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that.
exactly about
Yeah.
50% women now.
Good.
And
Okay.
they add tremendously to the garden club workload and to all of our projects. And, of course, there are a lot of women in San Antonio and Central Texas that are wonderful gardeners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the more people, the better. And
Absolutely.
what I know what your mission is, which is to we're going to use this opportunity to educate people on the club and opportunities within it. But what is the mission of the club now? What do you What do you want to accomplish? Or
can we? Will you get? Well, you can tell me to shut up if I get to it.
Okay.
But but one of the things that I think is based on what I heard Albert and Charles talk about at the Christmas event. We were so proud of what the Men's Garden Club has done through the years and how involved they've been in creation of the Master Gardeners and all these environmental educational programs. But we're a little worried about our age.
No.
We now, of course, Albert's not that old, but Charles and I are members of old
29 and holding.
Yeah.
I
was going to say Calvin should speak for himself. What the heck?
That's right. And when it comes to age, I definitely can. But Albert talked about recruiting some younger members. And in fact, you had a few. You had Paul Cox's son was there, and there were a number of other young people there too, weren't there?
Yes. Well, the Men's Garden Club has also been involved with the Children's Garden, and so that they've been a big aspect about helping get children into gardening, and by also carrying these raised garden beds everywhere they go into the community to help reach to the children to show them how to garden. And so by doing that, they have also been a big helping out the San Antonio Botanical Center with their children's garden. So they've been doing that for a long time too. So when I came into town after I graduated from high school, I met Charles, and Charles, when he was president of the Men's Garden Club, I would go out there and help the kids plant things in the raised beds and see how they were amazed to see how things grow.
Yeah.
And now that they have a culinary garden there at the Botanical Center, now kids can actually take what they grew and cook with it. And so they have awards that they go ahead and give to the kids for growing what they grew from seed.
Let's remind everybody, too, that, and this was there's been a lot of research that supports this, but including some research here in San Antonio. Young people, children, school children that participate in gardening do better in school. They do better socially and in terms of their communities, too. So it's not just fun and environmentally important, but it's really contributes a lot to the well-being of a community to have a program like the Men's Garden Club supported there.
Well, I think gardening is great for many aspects. A lot of people who garden get to live longer, too. My grandmother lived to be 101, and she was out in the garden picking up weeds, even at her old age.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what do we have to do? Another 2 or 3 years, Charles, and then we'll be there.
I think so.
Yeah. So now, how long have you been a member? Albert?
I've been a member since Charles was president.
Okay, and how long?
Which was in the late 80s.
Okay.
And so
we're both lifetime members.
Oh, good. Okay, so what do you both enjoy about it? Talking to someone that's hearing this and going, okay, this sounds interesting. Tell us what you like, what you really enjoy about it.
Well, I think one of the best things that the Men's Garden Club has done through the years is it's become sort of a focal point to spread horticultural information throughout not only the San Antonio area but also South Texas. And we promoted through the years a lot of native plant material, a lot of plants that are well adapted to San Antonio, that are low or tolerate low water levels, and that are low maintenance. And we call it a set and forget plant. You plant it, you water it in, you walk away, and it's good for the rest of your life. And we found a lot of beautiful plant materials like that. And we've also provided through the years a lot of manpower and even financial support for the formation of other groups. For example, the Master Gardener program. In the late 80s, we had many members in the Men's Garden Club who had moved to San Antonio from other states, and they had been involved with the Master Naturalist program in other parts of the United States, but they were a little bit disappointed that they didn't have a local program here. And so we worked with Calvin, and Dr. Finch was very instrumental in getting the Master Gardener program started here. We're up to class 67 now, with more than 800 people as Master Gardeners in the San Antonio area. And then we've also were instrumental in the formation of the Master Naturalist program several years ago. They're up to class number 51 this year. And that program that was started here in San Antonio with the Master Naturalist has gone nationwide and even international now. And so the Men's Garden Club was, through the years, not only provided manpower and lady power, but also financial support for a lot of these programs.
And Albert, or both of you, talk a little bit. Albert, you kind of mentioned the kind of the pleasure that you got out of seeing young gardeners to kind of watching them learn the craft and learn. What are some other things? I guess there's camaraderie with other gardeners.
Yes, it's like an extended family.
Okay.
I've always liked it because you see familiar faces. Plus, there's always a lot of new people that come in, and so everybody has a trade in their field, and so we all share that. Plus, a lot of people like to bring a lot of plants that they have extra in their garden, so we get to put that on the table and share that with everybody. So that's one thing I do like. Plus, not only the good food, but also the good company.
Yeah.
Well, and then I want to remind everybody, too, and I think it's been mentioned a few times, they talked about the learning gardening and having fun, and but we just can't, the significant force that they've been in the environment, improving the environment. And, we brag about the San Antonio's water conservation program. Without the Men's Garden Club, and Master Gardeners, the water conservation program never would have been as successful as it's turned out. And also the Men's Garden Club, we have a lot of events and we have gardens, education programs. But when it comes to be a significant environmental issue or a controversial issue, the members of the Men's Garden Club are some of the first people to step forward and say, we're going to provide this input.
Cool. Very good.
And if we make a decision, we're going to support that decision and we're going to comply with that decision. That's just amazing when you have that kind of response and you get the industry involved, the volunteers involved, the amateur gardeners involved. You can't go wrong. It makes for tough decisions and important discussions, but it really works in the long run.
Look,
we've even taken the opportunity to work with the Alamo Regional Science and Engineering Fair.
I see that.
This is the 35th year that we've been involved, and it'll be at the end of next month on the 22nd and 23rd of February at St. Mary's University. For many, many, many years now, the Men's Garden Club has provided a really stellar judging panel for the science fair, and we've judged the botany divisions and the ecology divisions and other groups, and we provide certificates and cash awards for the winners of those different divisions. And, of course, as I said, we've done that for decades now.
Yeah, 3 decades. And so, looking on the website, which, by the way, I'll give out now, it's Men's Garden Club of SA.org, and it just went away. Sorry about that. But there's a number of different different events that come up. It looks like Saw's Spring Bloom is one of the things that the Garden Club, Men's Garden Club does. Oh, thank you. And let's see. The Hollywood Park Plant Sale, Festival of Flowers, which we see you at, the Herb Market, and Basil Fest at the Pearl. And you've got the 25th anniversary event coming up. Is that what you're giving me?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
For the Festival of Flowers.
Oh, for the Festival of Flowers. This is the 25th annual Festival of Flowers? Yeah. Wow, how'd that happen?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Time goes by in a hurry.
It really does. Okay,
well,
so
you know where that started.
Brunella and Anshola.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess every time we mention a an event that's important to the community and gardening, it's normal for us all the organizations to be part of it.
Now
they've got a wonderful newsletter.
Oh yeah, okay. Hold on to that for just 1 second. So I just want to make sure that I think I know the answer to this. If I'm listening and I'm kind of okay, I like gardening. I want to get more involved. I like some of the projects they're doing. I like the fact. How good a gardener do I have to be? You guys sound like you're great.
No, we all started off with the
Okay.
black thumb or brown thumb, and
Okay.
so eventually it started turning green. So
All right.
now come to the meetings. We meet the first Thursday of the month at the Garden Center, San Antonio Garden Center. It starts at 6:30. It's a social event, and at 7 we have our programs. We have great speakers. And then at the end of the meeting, people share with whatever they want, plants or about other future events that are coming up in the future.
And is there a cost to go to the meeting?
No.
This
No.
It'll be first one will be February, right?
Yes.
Okay.
How about the targeting some of those young people? How are you going to do that?
Well, hopefully by people who are hearing this right
Yeah. Well, and let's.
and then going to many events where we can go ahead and reach out to the community.
Yeah. Well, and our listeners may know somebody that's like really interested, and they can pass the word on, and then they. You've got the meeting that you mentioned, but the Men's Garden Club of SA.org will give you more information. So if you have someone in your world that might enjoy being a part of it, is there a limit on membership, or would you just grow as much as you want?
No. Yeah.
Good. And then, Calvin, you were mentioning the newsletter.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is thanks to Calvin. Every month, among other things, Calvin puts a beautiful column in the newsletter. We have the Men's Garden Club has a national award-winning newsletter that comes out every month. It's available to every member and other folks. It's called the Horticultural Bulletin of the Men's Garden Club, and Calvin has put an article there of things to do. It's always on page 2. People never miss it. We look forward to it. It's a great column, and it's just another opportunity that Calvin shares his knowledge with not only us and garden groups, but also the whole population of San Antonio.
Charles has an article on blue bonnets, and the pink blue bonnet, the legend of the pink blue bonnet is covered. How do they get this? Is this online too? Can they download it?
Yes.
Okay.
You know what we might want to do? The new president needs to think about this, but we might want to link this to maybe the columns in the Express News and everything, and that give some of these young people an opportunity where we will provide the newsletter to them if they're interested for 6 months or something, and some of those kind of issues. Also, and I know you two guys have talked about this, and so have your members, but also some special welcomes to get them to come to the meetings and hear some of those speakers. Maybe of course you guys do a great job of getting good speakers too, so that's part of it, but maybe we just have to publicize that
Okay.
and find some speakers that are especially attractive to young people.
Who is the speaker this February? And we have about a minute. I've heard of him.
One of Mike Fanix.
Oh, very good.
But that's if we have another speaker that we're supposed to have that's supposed to be from New Earth, but we don't know if he's going to be.
Okay, so your job, Albert, we're giving you a homework assignment. About 1 week before the first Thursday of February, you call the show and remind us about what's going on. You got about a minute before we have to get caught up to the news. I'm giving you the mic. You do a commercial for the Men's Garden Club of San Antonio. Okay. Shyness kicking in?
Well,
Charles, you give a commercial.
Yeah, let me mention that it's an old organization with a membership that has a wealth of knowledge about horticultural fact and fantasy in this area in Central Texas. Mm-hmm. But we welcome everyone, men and women. It's an opportunity to attend a meeting where you can share your knowledge and get a lot of free plant material, and it can. It's a, as Albert says, it's a great.
Did we say where the meeting was?
Yeah,
at the San Antonio
Garden Center.
Garden Center.
Yep, and
on Funston.
Plus, you also come and get a lot of great door prizes.
Oh, cool!
Fanix donated a lot of bags of compost last month, and so you get that, and among other things.
Okay, we got to go, Albert. Thank you for coming in.
We're back with Milberger's Gardening, South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 930 AM, The Answer.
And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 930 AM, The Answer. Let me give you the website one more time, mensgardenclubofsa.org. mensgardenclubofsa.org, and then you'll find out all the information, when the meetings are, where they are. The newsletter is on there, plus old newsletters are on there. And I was surprised. The membership is $20 a year, which is less than $2 a month. That's pretty good. That's really good. And there's a place to join, and you can do joint membership. That's neat.
And then they mentioned that the plant exchange too, right? Did they?
Yes.
Charles and Albert
at festival.
Oh,
no! You meant at the event? Yes,
yeah.
At the end of it, yes. They sure did.
Yeah, the plant. That's kind of a neat meeting coming up, the 25th anniversary of the Festival of Flowers.
Yeah, I really can't believe that. I don't know why. Amazing? It doesn't seem like 20.
How many years have we been doing this, Milton?
I can't believe.
Over 25.
Don't tell me that either. Yeah, and I think we may have been at the first Festival of Flowers.
Yes, we
I think we were there. Yeah, Brunella's kept in, and she and Ann started it. They kept the tradition going, and yepper, it's a great event. So we'll tell you more about that as it gets closer to. All right, 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867, the number to call. Let's hear what's going on in your world and what you're thinking about garden-wise. What are you worried about? Maybe we can help you either find a solution or make you feel better about it. We'll help you with that, too. So, what are you besides covering, are you doing anything now, or are you just kind of waiting for the cool weather to blow over?
Well, I'm covering, and then another thing that is an important issue or is a rewarding issue is the bird feeding and the bird water. And there's a little bit of a controversy there because of what is that? What is the threat?
Bird flu.
Bird flu, and there's some official organizations that are kind of suggesting that we try not to bring a lot of bird population together.
Avian flu, avian influenza.
Yeah,
and looking at all about birds. Should you take down your bird feeders?
It's a real challenge because right now, it's one of the best times to feed the birds with this cold weather. I mean, you've got and if you're doing suet, for insect eaters, you've got the warblers and you got the titmice and all kinds of species to observe.
And how is the food supply in the winter, in the cold of the winter?
Now, it's especially tough this year because of the weather we had, the dry weather. There are not a lot of spare. There weren't a lot of plants with extra berries or seeds or anything, and so the feeding is attracting a lot of a variety of species and individuals, and of course water is always attractive.
No, we should. It's a tough thing because I know that a lot of people, their heart is in this, but they also don't want to spread avian flu. So I don't know what they're going to do. I will tell you on.
What about your cats too? You don't want. I think your cats are. Your cats have taken over your bird feeding, haven't they?
Yeah, I think the cats are doing their part to eliminate the birds with avian flu. That's a problem with ferals.
Don't let any cows come up there either.
No, and according to Google, if bears live near you, you should not keep feeders up during the warmer months.
Well, that was
Do you have
always...
any bear problems at your feeders going?
Well, now, you laugh about that, but
well, you didn't have bear problems.
That is a big, well, in Minnesota.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. My sister and her husband had a resort, and on Lake Superior, and they love feeding the birds, and of course, especially in the wintertime, the bears, they loved the sunflower seeds and the other, and so they were always trying to figure out strategies so that the bears wouldn't come charging into the backyard or out the patio and everything, and and that was always a challenge because they get pretty bold and tame, and they seem to think that they own those forests. Those bears.
Those bears do?
Yeah, and they said that the extra food there, that those seeds are fair game for them too. So.
Okay, so if
it's less of a problem here in Texas.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of calls, but if you are having bear situations and bear problems, call us now. 210-3.
Now don't.
Trace walked
don't
right
giggle.
in.
Yeah, don't because the Wildlife magazine for the Texas. One of the featured articles this month was the black bears are back in Texas.
Oh, all right. Way to go, black bears.
Yeah.
All right. It said on Google we were talking about avian flu, and then we're going to get to Bess. And I was just reading Google, and it's just funny because you never know what you're going to get when you search. If bears live near you, you should not keep feeders up during the warmer months. And Calvin says that's true. So just you be careful, Trace.
All right.
Your neighborhood, you live near bears, don't you?
Bear fans.
Don't feed them. If you feed bear fans, they'll never go away.
I don't feed them.
Okay. All right. Bess is on the line, and she's been so patient. Hi, Bess. Welcome to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. What you say?
Thanks for taking my call finally. And I know y'all have talked a lot to other people about the different organizations, but the last two times y'all have talked about these different organizations, I never heard the Native Plant Society of Texas mentioned. Now, this is native plants. Anyway, our organization, we helped get the Master Naturalist started. I was in the first class. And anyway, the Native Plant Society, throughout the years, studying native plants, helping people understand them. We would rescue plants along I-10 when they were getting ready to do construction and plant them at Frederick Park for our little native plant garden over there. Anyway, but when he said age, and I thought our group now, since I am 94, and a lot of our group have already passed on, they're still have shifted. Well, a lot of them still come to our native plant meeting, but a lot of them go on into Master Naturalists. Mm-hmm. And then at our little workplace out at Frederick Park, we offer native plant people, when they want to earn hours, an opportunity to come out there. We've had several. But anyway, some of the things that our chapter here in town has done, one of the most outstanding is we created a professional herbarium with really professional rules and everything, collecting plants, pressing them down. Our specimens now, over 1,000, are stored at Whitty Museum, the Whitty, and then our pictures are a whole photographed set of all of our plants that we collect and press it are at the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center in Austin, and you can go there and look and see the different plants, pictures of, and the names of different people who worked on that. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, that's Tuesday, the herbarium and Lady Bird Johnson and the Whitty, and then like I said at Frederick Park, we have our little wildflower area that I've always tried to get samples of all the plants that you might see in Frederick Park when you're on the trails. Okay,
that's pretty cool.
And you guys sponsored some events and always
always
Yeah,
have.
I think I've spoken at some, and so have some of our other gardeners.
And the meetings now are being held, instead of at the library or the Lions Field, they're now held out at Hardberger Park.
Okay.
I think it's the second Tuesday of the month. Really good speakers, just excellent people. And we have had several native plant gardens around town, at two different libraries. But it's like with the volunteers, as people mature, don't have the energy, to do all of that. So all of these other things that we have that are permanent now, don't want people to forget it, because we do have young people who like to have some place to go and earn hours for the master naturalist.
Well, we'll see if we can.
Yeah. What's up, Calvin?
And
there's something you're going to be interested in.
That sounds like something I would like to write about in the Express News, too. And the other thing is I think we would be pretty comfortable with trying to be mentioned every quarter.
Please do.
So.
Yeah.
And
you'll have to connect. Do you do email, Bess? Are you an emailer?
I am, but I don't give my email right now. My computer's down. But anyway, one other thing I wanted to mention that our state organization in October, we have our annual meeting and symposium at different regions in Texas, all the different regions. Really well done 3-day events. And we had one in San Antonio not too many years ago. So it's not like we're not some little garden club. We are a big group and have won several awards through Audubon for the one garden downtown. Now, I was lucky enough, since I was in the first class and we were getting everything generated, when the second class was organized, and they were offered opportunities to have some land along the Riverwalk to start a garden. And they asked me to come out and help identify the plants there. So I got to be adopted into that group. And so we had a wonderful, wonderful garden down there. When a visitor to San Antonio would come by and they'd see a bunch of us women out there working with our hose and all of that, we told them, no, we were not doing work to pay off some kind of spine or something. Fine. We're doing this for fun.
Yeah.
But it was very noticeable, very well done. And then when the city needed to buy that land back for something else, well, then they offered us land at Hardberger. So it's about 3 years ago. Okay. We have the demonstration garden at Hardberger. And some of the native plants, some of the older ones who can still get around to do this kind of work.
All right, well, Bess, thank you. No, and do you remember the website off the top of your head? I got the Native Plant Society of Texas website. Is that what I should give out?
Well, I don't know what our San Antonio one is.
Okay, I'll look for it some more. Thank you, Bess. We'll have to.
All right, Bess, you're our official representative.
Yeah, you call anytime, okay?
Okay.
All right. You take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. 210-308-8867. Yeah, we're not trying to slight anybody. There's so many. You can find what you want to do in the gardening world in different organizations and clubs. And Calvin, you will be interested in this. So maybe you could write about this actually in your thing. Do you know about their Monarch grants?
No.
Aha. Oh, Cal, look! Did you see his ears actually perk up?
I did.
Yep. Until February 10th, 2025, so it's coming up, Bring Back the Monarchs grants available. Apply now for our annual Bring Back the Monarchs to Texas grant program. We make grants available to schools, nature centers. Lulu needs to know about this. And other organizations to create additional monarch habitat using native Texas plants.
Sounds good.
So go to mpsot.org. So it's what? NP, Native Plant Society of Texas, npsot.org. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. All right. See, now you got your topic. You can mention me in the article if you want.
Okay. I don't know. What is it? Milton? What?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. 210-308-8867.
Wow, we're overwhelmed with.
I know, this is great.
Two great presentations.
No, and Bess has called before. I like Bess's.
Yeah, she has. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's very serious.
Yep.
She's. I guess she's even older than we are.
I don't know how.
Charles and I. Yeah.
Well, you said you were a few years away from 101.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Bess may not be older.
She's 93.
Yeah.
94.
94, she said. That's right. All right. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. What are we missing out?
What we need, we did a pretty good job, I think, on Men's Garden Club, but we need, we could have mentioned too on Bess's call about the inputs of Milbergers and the support of Milbergers.
Milbergers is very
like
supportive of all these clubs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Calvin's arranging for a Men's Garden Club Monarch thing. So
Okay, that's cool.
Did I screw it up by saying that? Did I?
No.
I blew it. Okay.
That's great.
Yep. So that's going to be good stuff. Yep. That's one of the great. Milbergers is a terrific corporate citizen. February 1st. Besides that, we have the blood drive coming up. That's on milbergernursery.com. You'll find that. Gosh, I'm trying to remember how many years the blood drive has been going on. It's been going on quite a while.
It was pre-me.
Yeah, pre-you. Yeah. I think back there.
I remember it's a long time because I remember back when they used to have good cookies.
Oh, no, you're just thinking of blood drives in general. I think actually the buses parked out in the parking lot area. Huh. So they didn't have the area back there, so that's how far it goes back. But yeah, good corporate citizen.
They all used to be employee parking.
Oh, okay.
Now the employees aren't in this building anymore. They're up the hill.
Yeah, they're up the hill. So I don't think it was before up the hill. All right, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Yeah, and we'd love to hear from your garden club, too. We want to talk about doing new things in 2025. There's the Water Garden Club, the Herb Society, Rose. That's what I was going to ask about. Okay, so I see roses all around town. You pull into Las Palapas, you got beautiful knockouts that look great. They're deep red. They're beautiful. Are those going to be hit by the cold, or the roses don't care?
So they're going to be burned, but it's not going to hurt them any in the long run.
They're going to be burned, but what? I'm sorry.
They'll be fine in the long run.
Okay.
So
those.
Clean them up at the end of February, and
okay.
Old-fashioned roses and modern tough roses and selected other roses. That's one of the real advantages of, besides them being attractive, but easy to grow, and they can deal with they fit into our weather really well.
I think one of the best years for knockouts was after Uri.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know the redbuds and
you're right.
Most of the roses were exceptional that next
They came
spring.
back really beautiful. And what I kind of think is true, I hope it's true, I'm going to say it like it is, and that is if I have knockouts in the drive-through lane at Las Palapas, then they can take pretty bad conditions.
If a restaurant can take care of it,
yes,
anybody can.
Well, and it's getting car fumes, it's getting, there you go.
They're concerned about the bean and cheese tacos,
not the knockout roses. And when will we start getting them in?
Antique roses are at the end of this month.
Okay, end of January.
I can't remember the date, but at the end of this month.
Okay.
The Lady Banksias will be in that group. And Lady Banksias actually need this kind of cold to bloom well.
Okay. Oh, good. Is that your favorite? What's your favorite?
Well, out of the roses is Metabulous.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of the Lady Banks and how I've got two of them, and one of them is out in the full sun and has a nice specimen plant. The other one is underneath mesquite tree and live oak tree, and it has managed to come up through and get into the sun on both of those trees. It's just amazing. It's hard for people to say, that can't be a rose up there, can it? That's blooming every year. It only blooms for 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
But they are an amazing plant. I'm glad that Trace and Milbergers have
Yeah.
given him some emphasis.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and come back in a moment. 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Back in a moment on 9:30 a.m., The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Our phone number 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. What's happening in your garden? Oh, I need to take a picture of this too. This is hilarious. No. I'm going to tell you. So I was out in the backyard, okay, picking up stuff, and chili pekins are very opportunistic. So you can tell sometimes, you've seen the back of my truck, I can get a little sloppy sometimes. So in the back of our place, we have some pots that have just been sitting there. These are terracotta. This one was turned over. And coming through the little hole in the top, well, it's the bottom now, but it's turned over, that's just about as wide as the hole, is a chili pekin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite opportunistic. It wants to live.
Well, I've got a few that I've got a great big one over there by that Lady Banks rose I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath, that's one of the plants that's underneath it. But then there are a few of them that have got seated in the steps and the patio, and it's a really a neat plant in terms of the wildlife. The birds love it.
Yeah. Oh, but I think it's just hilarious. It had a nickel's worth of sunlight to get to and get out through, and it decided, okay, I'm going to do it. Maybe that's not uncommon for plants to do, but
some plants, for
yeah.
sure.
You have the chili pekins on the property, Trace?
No.
No? Okay. Why not?
We don't have any
Okay.
that have naturally come up. I bet you there's some in the creek.
Oh, I bet you're right.
I don't go down there.
Okay. All right. 210-3. I just wanted to share that story with you. I'll take a picture of it. 210-308-8867. All right. What else in the gardening world is going on? What should we it's the beginning of it's the middle of it's almost over of January.
Yeah, it's almost February 1st is our target date for potatoes.
Okay.
And they're here.
Oh, good.
Oh, are they? What
Yes,
kind
they
we got?
There's 4 flavors in there. I don't remember. There's white and red.
Okay.
Probably Pontiacs and
So
Russets.
Pontiac, Red Lesota.
Yeah.
But I can't remember which ones I got. I know I got a white and a red.
Okay.
Cool. Good. That's good.
You want to talk a little bit about, are there any differences in how you grow the white, the red?
Well, I always find that I'm more successful with the red than the white. But a lot of gardeners grow both, and there's a lot of different ways. There's a really unique kind of fancy ways, or actually they're not fancy. They brag about them because they take advantage of like growing them in the hay bales and trench. Generally the normal way I think is to dig a trench a foot deep if you can, and then
about how long?
Well, just every
depends on how long,
for
how
every
many
2
potatoes.
feet. Every 2 feet.
So 1 potato per 2 feet?
Yeah, well, and it depends on the
slice of potato.
What's what?
So you don't buy you cut up the potato.
Okay.
You don't just plant the whole thing. Well, I guess you could, but
yeah, they've got little stems that start. So,
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can never remember that, the eyes, and generally if you got 2 eyes on each piece, and you generally, depending on how large they are, you should get 2 plants out of each seed potato or more.
Okay.
And So you plant them at the bottom of the trench every couple feet.
Mm-hmm.
You can plant them closer together. The problem with that is that then when you're harvesting, you harvest both rather than just get one at a time. And then you cover them with about 3 inches of soil, and then as the plant emerges from the trench and under the soil, then you put more soil on.
Oh, okay.
And you can.
Why are you mounding them?
Because you want more soil. The more soil you've got there,
The more potatoes. Okay.
Yeah, but if you can get the trench deeper, foot works fine, or you can get it deeper than that. That's easier than the mound.
So most people can't dig a foot deep, though, Milton.
I know.
So that's when you start to go up.
Yeah,
So
then you're mounding
I've
up.
seen fancy things done with
kind of
old
attractive
tires
too, with the mound, and then.
I've seen it done with old tires where they cut the sidewalls out.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
I've seen new potatoes done with hay, but the hay spread out over the ground, so the potato wants to go outward, and you can actually harvest new potatoes without disturbing the whole plant.
I've seen that too with the.
Go do that one again. Say that again.
Instead of trying to go up and keep adding soil,
Mm-hmm.
you go out with hay. And
Okay.
so the little tubers still form under the hay, and you can go pull the hay back, harvest a new potato, and put the hay back over, and you haven't messed up the whole plant.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It gives you the response of the potatoes to those various opportunities like that means that you can plant them almost any place, even if you don't have much soil. You can kind of do the hay or the mounding and
Just keep going up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you harvest you can harvest new potatoes when they start blooming, and then you want to harvest the rest of the crop, the entire crop, when the tops decline. If of course it's been so long since we've had soggy soil, but
Yes, Milton, kind of like onions.
Where the tops go and you're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
then if you leave, you don't want to leave them in the ground too long. But in a well-drained dry soil, you don't have to rush to get them out of the soil. But you don't want to leave them in soggy soil. But and then you store them. We don't get as much production as they do in Idaho or Maine, but we get a lot of production, and they're wonderful. Mostly we do new potatoes. They don't. A lot of our gardeners, I don't think most of our gardeners in Texas store potatoes. Maybe they do up in the Panhandle.
Are they just eating them, picking them and eating them?
Yeah, basically a new potato. If you can store it for.
And are new potatoes just like the ones in the store that are probably a little bigger than a golf
They're
ball?
baby potatoes.
Yeah. Okay, and if I leave them on, do they become bigger potatoes?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you'll easily get some potatoes that are
Okay.
that size.
How many potatoes will I get if I do from one eye?
Good soil is if
okay.
you got good soil and everything, you should get 7 or 8 potatoes.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay.
Yeah, if you got really limited soil, or you're trying one of those kind of hay things, you may not get quite that many. But
Are they pretty?
the plants,
Yeah.
actually, they are kind of attractive because they've got a
Apparently,
kind
I'm
of
going
a
to sell you
uniform
some potatoes today.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking. But James is on the line, has a planting potato question at 210-308-8867. Hi, James. Welcome to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. What's going on?
Hey, we're almost 40 degrees out here, man.
Oh, wow. Where is here?
In Marion, Texas.
Okay. Almost 40.
Yeah. Hey, you guys were talking about planting taters, and the way we've been doing it forever is we got one of those cordless drills. It's got a battery on it, and we get different sized earth augers, and then we dig our holes about 8-9 inches deep and drop that tater in there, and then that's about it.
Oh, wow.
But he's an old farmland too.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, his
he's-
soil
he's
must
gonna
not
have
be
a-
too compact.
He's going to have an easy dig.
You have different soil than, say, someone in Hollywood Park?
Well, I don't know anything about Hollywood, but
Oh,
we've
it's
got
kind of, or stone oak?
It's rock.
Rock, yeah.
Yeah, but we usually plant with the auger on the drill, and then what I like to do is buy a 50-pound sack of potatoes at the Jupi mill, and then get all the ones that are about as big as hen's eggs out of there, and sell the rest of them to gardening friends, and then plant the ones that are about as big as hen's eggs and plant them whole.
So what is your favorite
Potato?
potato selection? Or is it, do you just do different every year or what?
It's got to be that red Pontiac, man.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
That's got to
fine.
be the yummy one. And they're a lot better than store-bought when you grow them yourself for some reason.
Can you do sweet potatoes the same way?
No.
Oh,
I have
Well,
no
I mean,
idea
sweet potatoes
anything
are
about sweet
easy to
potatoes.
grow, but
That's more of a April or May thing.
oh, okay.
hot weather.
Very cool. Well, thank you, James.
But get that drill out if you got good raised beds, like you were talking earlier about them raised beds you guys make in the backyard. Get that drill out and that auger, and it don't take you very long to get them planted.
We sell those augers.
Oh, do you really? I was wondering where you get the augers. Okay.
As you get older, you don't want to be digging the holes, so you don't have to bend down as far.
Okay.
It's a good
I've
plan.
got a 6-inch auger or 4-inch, I don't know. But anyway, that's what we dig the transplants holes for the 1 gallon tomatoes with. It's
And all I need is a regular old hand drill?
Yeah. pretty
Okay.
much.
yeah, have fun.
As
Thanks,
long as
James.
as long as you got a loose soil, not a compact soil.
Okay.
You'll break the auger. If you
Oh,
try to
I
do
don't
it in
think. I
stone.
think we have. Yeah, ours is pretty compact.
But also you can have a limited potato production area.
Can I do it in a pot?
Yes, Milton,
Yeah,
you
you
can.
can.
So you start out with the soil low with your potato under it.
Oh.
And as it grows, you just keep adding soil. to
You
the
know
top.
that those
This is kinda
half
cool.
whiskey barrel sized plastic pots
Oh yeah, that'd be
really
great.
would work. Yeah.
And since they're black, they would build up the heat and make the potatoes grow faster. I would think.
That'd be
I'm going to sell you a
interesting.
pot too, Milton.
I think I'm
one
okay
thing we
with
didn't
pots.
touch on.
What's
so,
that?
Hey, Milton?
me and-
Yes, sir.
Way back along 100 years ago when we were all young and good looking, they used to plant potatoes in tires. And
Yeah,
as
that's
those
what-
potatoes would grow, they would put more tires.
Yep,
and
cut
then
the sidewalls out and keep stacking.
just
Yeah.
keeps-
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I'll have to when the bulk pickup comes over. We always have tires that people are getting rid of, so maybe I can find a tire and.
You could just go to a tire shop.
Oh, and-
They'll have plenty they want to give you.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
and your neighborhood your neighborhood association will really love that with those.
I'll be in the
tires.
be in the backyard. It's okay. I think in the backyard. Can't I do my?
Just tell them the tire swing fell down. And
Yeah.
That's right.
And just started growing potatoes. I don't know what happened.
Environmentally,
Yeah.
Okay,
this is-
have fun, you guys.
Thank you, James. You take care.
So we didn't touch on
Yes, sir.
mine and Calvin's version of actually cutting them up.
Oh,
So you can't just take a freshly cut potato and throw it in the ground.
okay.
So you got to let it scab over, kind of like how you would replant cactus and that kind of
how
stuff.
many days do you do it?
3.
3. I always try.
So at that point, you want sulfur or potash to dip it in. That lessen the chances of the new spud rotting.
Oh, okay.
But the drying, they're not too fussy though.
Okay.
But
Where
you
do
know,
you-
we talked.
I'm
a
sure
little
you
bit
sell
about-
sulfur and potash.
We sell the sulfur, and I'm sure I've probably got potash. It's
Okay.
not a super sought out
Oh, okay.
product.
Yeah, the sweet potatoes came up,
Yeah.
and of course they're completely different how they grow them in the climate and everything. But I was fascinated by when I used to go bird watching, and I went to New Guinea, and they planted. They made a garden in the swamp they pulled the soil up and made these islands, and each of the islands there were like 8 by 8 or 8 by 6, and each of the islands had the soil, and then they were surrounded by the swamp water, and they had these things, a regular large field with all these islands in there, and they planted this sweet potatoes on each of the islands. I didn't see them when they were out there servicing, but they surely had to walk in the water unless they were.
Oh.
And the water wasn't deep. It was basically a swamp, but they had enough rain and everything that it was wet in there. But
so where do I look here? It's in
the seed room.
Okay. Oh, okay. Very interesting.
So he's got the potatoes on his mind.
I got potatoes on the mind. Yep.
They don't fit your diet, though.
Oh no, I know they're not going to be. They're not low carb, huh?
No.
Okay. Sweet potatoes, are they low carb?
No.
Red potatoes, are they low carb?
No. But
yes.
Someday you have to cheat.
Well, you have to break it occasionally,
you have to
right?
Cheat.
Okay.
Well, this sweet potatoes will probably be better for them than regular, wouldn't they?
I don't think the diet cares.
No, the
all
diet
cares
doesn't care
about carbs.
I know from a sugar standpoint, sweet potatoes are better. I think you.
Yeah, a lot of the nutrients too.
Yeah. All right.
Because that's quite often it's one of the vegetables in impoverished areas, in the tropical areas where they, this will fill a gap and will keep poor populations alive because sweet potatoes are relatively easy to grow and very nutritious.
Oh, man. And Al back at the station, he is a huge fan of sweet potatoes. Every time we talk about him,
you can't have sweet potato without butter and brown sugar.
Yep.
Oh, I love sweet potatoes, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Wonderful.
We're going to take a quick break and come back in a moment. 210-308-8867. Right now, Al is cursing me out. 210-308-8867.
He doesn't really like them?
I don't think he does, no.
Oh.
On 9:30 a.m., The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We go back to the phone lines now, 210-308-8867. We have stirred people's interest with potatoes. Franklin is on the line, wants to talk about potatoes at 210-308-8867. What's up, Franklin? Welcome to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas, man.
Hello, you fabulous people. I haven't talked to you guys in a long time.
No, it's been a while.
Look, it has. It's bad, really. But here's my problem with potatoes. I have tried this mounding thing. No matter whether I mound it or not, I always only get potatoes at the base of the original potato that I put down. How do I get them to grow out as you mound up? I assume that's the purpose of mounding it and getting it higher so you get more production. I've never been able to.
How deep is your trench? How deep can you make your trench?
I can make it as deep as I need to. I usually put it about a foot deep, and I plant the potato along the bottom. I put about 6-8 inches of dirt, and then when I see it come up the top, I add some more dirt on top. Am I doing that right? I don't really know when I can put the dirt on top to keep it growing up,
Yeah, I think you're right, though, in terms of the potatoes, much more production in the trench. But I have generally have better luck when I do it like 3 inches and then keep the soil, adding the soil for that, fill the trench, and the mounding. Don't let it get very tall before you put the soil on there. The minute that plant emerges from the
first couple of green leaves.
Yeah, even if you cover all the generally we like to leave some of the green showing. But yeah, you're right. You know, if the mounding isn't done until late, you're not going to get much production out of it. So you gotta move pretty quick.
I do it first. I put them under the mound actually, and make it grow up to the top of the mound.
Oh.
And then I add more.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe why don't you try letting that plant emerge, and then just filling back just like you do the trench.
When
3 inches at a time.
When it emerges from where I've mounded the dirt up, then I put more dirt on it. And how much more should I put? Another inch or so above that, or how do you do that?
Well,
I mean, I'd like to get production, but no matter how high I build it, it seems I only get potatoes off the bottom. There isn't anything on the side.
Yeah, well, I always try to have 6 to 8 inches on the mound.
Yeah.
Chase, have you had?
Okay. I'm doing that, but I don't get any. The only potatoes I get are at the very bottom of the plant.
But you mound at one. You don't do it a couple inches at a time.
I have done it a couple of inches. I've done it more inches, because it didn't change anything with a couple of inches, and then adding a couple inches, it didn't seem to change anything. I didn't get any side production off those potatoes.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I had that situation, then and you can dig your trench deeper, I would just go the deeper trench. And maybe it's kind of late in the day, but maybe we can talk about next week. We can talk about the other gardeners that have done the mounding and how they have.
Yeah.
How that's worked for them.
And the plastic pot too. You would put the dirt in the bottom of the plastic pot, maybe about 8-10 inches in the bottom of the pot, and then you'd put the seed on top and cover it with dirt, and then cover it as it goes up.
Well, it even works. Even works if you have an inch of soil and just put the seed potatoes down there low. But
okay, yeah, but how many potatoes can you put into one of those large pots?
I would just put one seed potato.
Just one? Okay. So it's better for me to do it in the ground then.
Yeah, because
I don't know. Because I'm still only, I get about 4 to 6 potatoes out of each plant, a couple of large and some smaller ones, but it doesn't seem to affect. I don't get any side potatoes. They're all at the bottom. So what am I doing wrong?
Well, I would just. I'm not sure what you're doing wrong, but I would just play with it a little bit on that. But try digging deeper, and not bother with the mounding, or try doing again like you did, just a couple inches at a time on the mound, but very quickly. Don't linger on it, if you cover it.
I'll put the trench. I'll make the trench, about 12 to 14 inches deep, or maybe a little deeper. And then as I see the green come up on the potato, I add more dirt on it until the trench is full, and then maybe a bit higher. How long do I keep mounding?
Yeah, just a little bit. I would rely on the trench then, if you're not having any luck with the mounding.
Well, yeah, but you mound in the trench, right? You put the potatoes in the trench on the dirt and cover them with dirt, and then as they come up and start to get a little green on the top, you cover them with more dirt. About 3-4 more inches, enough to cover the whole green, or do you want to, once those leaves come out? You put a potato in a closet, and it'll grow feet. The vines.
Well, I put the seed potatoes down in the bottom of the trench, and then I just put 2 or 3 inches of soil on, and then as they emerge, I put more soil on there, and then again I put more soil on there until I get to the top, and then I just mound to 2 or 3 inches a couple times.
Okay.
Well, I've seen the tire thing done 4 tires high.
Oh wow. Okay.
Gracious. Yeah.
Thanks, Franklin.
Yeah, well, that's I hear from people, but I never can seem to get it to work. Okay. You guys have a blessed day. Okay.
You too, man. You take care.
What did you do
Bye,
to Jerry
Franklin.
Parsons?
Yep.
You evil people. Y'all take care.
Bye, Franklin. All right. Chalmette Burt is on the line at 210-308-8867. Hey, Burt, what's happening? You had some questions you were going to ask us.
Well, yesterday, actually, I get some comments because of today I also go to the Native Plant Society of Texas, and I'm
good.
glad to hear about that as a garden club. But your raised beds, what you said, you know what I found out for us that are getting older is use bales of hay and straw. And then what I do is I take and that's what that other man said about planting his potatoes. I take a metal bulb planter auger, and I put holes in the tops of the bales, and then I take a pick and then, kind of chop it all up. And you put your soil in, like whatever for each plant, or whatever size plant you want. Put the soil in, and then I take a paint blender, which is a hard rubber or silicone, blend it all up with the fertilizer, and you can stack the bales as high as it is for you for your back not to ache.
Okay. So say that again.
So
Okay,
you're piling up
bales
the container on the hay?
Yeah, you could just, and then drive a stake, get you some rebar, just drive the stake right down through them so they're stable. Offset them like, I guess they call it herringbone or how they lay bricks, so that the seam is not all in one place if you're going to do two levels.
Okay.
And you just bore a hole, and then whatever size plant, root ball you got into it, and then, like I said, you just take and blend in the fertilizer and the straw of the hay, put your plant in, and let it grow.
Okay. That's interesting.
Now, the other thing about what you were talking about wrapping plants earlier, too, what I do is I save all my bubble wrap and shipping materials, like even the envelopes. Because if you have outside plants that you can't move, I split them bubble wrap envelopes, even with the paper on them, and then wrap them around the stem that's exposed, and just secure them with twist ties. And then the other thing is also when you got sheets, I went and bought rolls of bubble wrap, the big bubble wrap, and wear a cover over that when it's at nighttime. And in the daytime, if it's sunny like it is right now here, I'd have gone out this morning and uncovered so they could still be insulated with the bubble wrap, but they would get some sunlight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, I've been a repurposer, recycler most of my life. I always just like, hey, it does this. Let's see if it'll do that.
No, I like it.
Do you use the bubble wrap for a mattress too?
I know. I put them on. Actually, no, that's the one thing I get from the VA because of my back. But I use them on the windows. Like if you got a sheet of bubble wrap, put them on the outside of your window, and it's another layer of insulation to stop the cold from coming in through your windows.
Sounds good.
Thank you, man.
And one last thing before you go, if you
Yes,
those
sir.
guys with the garden club,
Yeah.
tell them to go to get with the VA or something, because I know at Wounded Warriors when I was at BAMC, it was a part of social work was gardening. It was called occupational therapy and social therapy, and it's proven, it's written that it actually is a socialization and a mind. It helps your mental, and they could probably go to like Voc Rehab with the VA. The Voc Tech schools that have like Palo Alto that has the A&M aspect anymore. The regular colleges done dropped their A&M. I don't even know why they keep it, but because it's all regulated to like the Voc Tech schools like Palo Alto, and go there and see what the people like that, the young men, the young women that are coming out of those, and they might just be interested in, coming and helping and give some technical support and stuff.
All right. Sounds
Yeah,
good. Thanks.
Very good advice. Yeah. It really is
All right,
amazing.
guys, stay warm.
Thank you. You too, man. You too. It really
All
is
right.
amazing. Albert discussed it in terms of better performance, and he's talking about Wounded Warriors, and yeah, gardening really seems to touch on a lot of health benefits and stuff.
It seemed like a huge percentage of people, even if they don't garden, it's in their mind, I'm going to eventually garden.
Mm-hmm.
That's a desirable activity for me. And,
Yeah.
And even if I have to wait till I retire, I'm going to eventually be a gardener.
Yep. All right, we're going to wrap it up for today. We've run out of time. Thanks to Al, doing a great job. Hope we'll talk with Mark next week, and Calvin doing a great job. I'm Milton Glueck. And Trace.
Enjoy your sweet potatoes, Al.
All right. See you next week on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.